Yes, Jazz, I was there for you being born as well. I also took care of your mother while she was pregnant, even though she was a pain in the butt. She was just like Tiff. I couldn't go to work. If I did, she would be promiscuous, start messing with people. We had one apartment that was a third story apartment. It was a guy that owned a builder, well, worked for a building company that his dad owned, and I worked for them. And I had a broken hand, and I'm running plywood, doing roofs, doing floors, you know, putting in windows. My hand's so cold I can put a nail through it and not even feel it. That's how I was picking them up, letting them pierce through my skin and pull them out because I couldn't feel it. Yeah, that was in the winter. She's messing with Jeff, pranking the one guy's girlfriend into believing that, she took a pregnancy test and that she was pregnant, which really hurt her. Um, Manipulating people by starting just moody fights upstairs. Me, I would talk to you every day. I would put my hand on on the belly, and you would curl up right into my hand. Anytime your mom did that, you'd run from her. But me, every time, I would tell you good morning, I would tell you good night, I would fall asleep with my hand on the belly. When you were first born, I was the first person to hold you. Even though Jen's mom tried, the doctor and the nurse said no, daddy gets first. They were your friends, not mine. That doctor was your family friend. He's seen how you were acting and what you were doing. Remember, you didn't even want to deliver her. And I know people's going to make excuses for you, which some of their excuses are half right. So, yeah. Do you realize even if you would have made it to where Jasmine wasn't alive that day because of you holding her in and doing what you did, you would have still had to deliver her. So, see, in your mind, you're doing all this stuff to hurt this life, and it's not even going to get you out of what you asked for. Oh, yeah, coming into a man's room doing what you did, you definitely asked for that. What'd you expect? And you lied. You weren't even pregnant. It's the only reason why you got a year out of me. The only other reason you got over a year out of me is because of Jasmine, and you know that. Why don't you start telling your daughter the truth? That's right, the truth. Tried to come to Maryland and control my life and where I work at. All because you want to play this, oh, he's obsessed with this and that and blah, 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 blah. You were the one that jumped into shit and took off with a child that you abused again. And you keep lying, manipulating, and getting away with the bullshit that you have been doing to this child since the day she was born. I am not your scapegoat. I don't give a fuck how jealous you are over the bond that I had with my daughter. Yeah, notice I said had. That makes you smile, don't it, Jen? That's exactly what the fuck you were going for. Yeah. Remember you lying to Brian and all them trying to start shit? Yeah, that's where you ran after Chris's and Aunt Lisa's trying to start shit there. That's what you did. You went around trying to start shit. You should have just talked to me. We did talk. I told you what I was doing. You were the one that got it in your mind that I was lying and wanted to run with my child. But yeah, my mother and grandmother helped you. Are you talking about the ones that broke down a door when you hit your elbow on a speaker box? What did you do that day? I got off the work truck. I smiled at you and waved as I was coming down the driveway, and you had an attitude and flicked me off, which I'm like, what the fuck? Then you took off running and made sure you went through the whole entire house all the way to my room to get attention. I come through. I don't know what's going on. So I go in, I shut the door, I go to turn around, and I hear Al. And she's holding her elbow and she's crying. I said, what the hell happened? She said, I hit your speaker box because it was sitting on the bed. It was a truck box, had a couple of 12s in it, super cute. Yeah, they were off brand, kicker, but they were nice. I got them at a Carlisle car swap when I was younger. But anyway, my grandmother and my mom think that there's a fight going on. So they break down the door, and within seconds of her hitting her elbow and me trying to figure out what's going on, I mean, I literally turned to her, was trying to figure out. I mean, I kind of got it, as soon as I looked at her, but not even a few seconds later, my door gets broke into. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And grandma is, you hit her. I didn't hit her. I'll tell you all right now, I did not hit that woman. I wasn't even near her when she did that. She was on the other side of the room. Even when they broke the door down, I was still in the same spot I was. I just turned and looked. And when they came in, they're yelling all this stuff. I'm like, I'm not even near her. She doesn't even have a mark. What are you talking about? She's holding her elbow. I punched her in the elbow? This is ridiculous. Yeah, this is what she pulled. I have no clue what all that was about. Other than it started that whole commotion over nothing. Literally, we weren't fighting, we weren't arguing, we didn't even have a chance to do that. I had just stepped out of the truck and was walking down the driveway, and she was at the garage part, which has a side door. It's not a garage anymore. It used to be, but it's closed in. And she flicked me off with double bird, and had an attitude. It wasn't like she did it with a smile, goofy, you know. I would have just done it back and goofed off, but that's not the body language she was showing. And I cocked my head to the side and, gave a cross look like, what the fuck? And then she took off running through the side door and then through the whole house when she could have just went through the fucking front door, which was right next to her too. And that would have been more of a straight shot right to my room, but why she ran to my room, I don't know. I don't know. And when I came to the door, she was standing up next to the bed, looking at, where the window is. And I was like, what's up? What was that all about as I'm shutting the door? Next thing I hear is bonk, ow, crying, screaming. I turn around and say, what happened? I hit my freaking elbow on the speaker. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. And then the door gets freaking ran over. These women and their assumptions. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't touch her. Yeah, Jen made the same, pretty much same thing happen when we had our apartment in Elkton. just before Jazzy was born. I forget what the argument was over, but it was something stupid. I had come home from work. I had messed up my hand. She knew I was in pain. I was just sitting on the chair. Uh, I took the dog out because she had not taken. I think that's what it was over. She did not take the dog out of the crate, and she wanted this dog. We got this dog. Well, this dog just showed up at my doorstep one day. I still think it was one of her friends that dropped it off. But anyway, I said we are in no condition to get a dog. And what she do? Or what happens? 2 days later, I come home from work, and all of a sudden I open the door. I was going somewhere, and there's just a puppy sitting on my porch. I'm like, yeah, okay. So of course, I brought the dog in, and we kept it. Pretty sure we named it Rosie. But anyway, um, yeah, I come home. The dog had been in the crate the whole day. It's got a freaking pond of urine in the bottom of the pan, which this pan and dog crate was completely clean and nothing like that when I went to work. And I wasn't even yelling or screaming. I was just like, dude, this is ridiculous. And she was the one yelling and screaming and stomping back and forth from the bathroom to where I was sitting in the chair. And then she goes in the bathroom, slams the door, gets mad, and bounces a mouthwash bottle off the back of the door. And this dude, fucking Jeff, thinks he can just break into my apartment and come up and try and get in my face. And I'm smiling at him because I want to tear him the fuck apart. But I know if I do that, there's going to be cops called, and then they're going to believe that I fought Jen, which I did not. This was all Jen's temper tantrum in a bathroom by herself. He come up running his mouth trying to get in my face. You better not be fighting and hitting her. I said, have you ever seen me hit her? He said, no. I said, all right then, and get the fuck out of my face. Because I have no problem hitting you. What? What? Why's she in the bathroom? Why is she hiding? Because she's upset. Well, why doesn't she come out? Do you realize that is my girlfriend and she is in a bathroom? Just because you heard a lot of commotion doesn't mean she got hit or anything like that. If she is in there, I don't know if she's using the bathroom. She might just still be sitting in there cooling off. I don't know. I don't know if after she threw the damn thing, if she decided to sit down and go potty. But you're not opening that door until she says she's ready to come out. That's when Jen's like, fine, I'll come out. She comes out, no marks, no nothing. I said, see, motherfucker, when you talk to me like that, get the fuck out of my apartment and don't come back in it. And he's running his mouth all the way down the steps. I said, I could call the cops right now. That's breaking and entering. You have no right to come in my apartment like that. And again, this is all Jen throwing a fit because she didn't do what she's supposed to do. And that was to take the dog outside. That's all it was. Take dog outside. Any other time, Jen's wanting to be outside and, you know, socializing with people and all that bullshit. Really? But when you have a job to do, it's fuck that, right? Just like the dishwasher with your dad when you were younger, right? When I first met you. Yeah. Oh, I was just so tired and depressed, Dad. I didn't get to it. Can you please get it? And he gets it. And a lot of times she didn't even have to ask him to get it. He just did it for her. Just like when he would cook and all that. He'd still cut up her meat for her and all this other stuff. I'm like, what the? Are you that damn lazy that you can't cut up your own food? I mean, it was something I noticed, and yeah, I thought it was just a little daddy daughter thing, and he's just spoiling his little kid because it's his daughter. But no, it was a lot worse than that. She was manipulating him into all this stuff. There was only two girlfriends that ever screamed physical abuse and all this mental bullshit, and that was Jen and Tiffany only. And if y'all look real close, you can see that that's a bunch of bullshit. Tiffany stayed with me for 12 years off and on, coming back to me on her own, but I was so bad. No, it was her. Jen did the same thing. She just got told no. She didn't like that. Oh, yeah, she did. After the stuff in Elkton you tried, after the stuff with Wes and you all breaking up you tried, after you and Phil, just before you went to Texas, you were trying. That's when you were with Steven, and I told you you're fucking crazy. Maybe that's why she got all mad and started doing all the stuff she did. Again, my daughter got abused because her mother was lazy and got a shower without making sure the child had proper supervision. This is the excuse she makes. See, parents have to make sacrifices like that. Get a shower at night. Get a shower in the morning. Make sure you're up before the child. How about that one? Yeah, sleeping in until noon is over. Should have been over for you the moment you became a mother, but apparently you think it still applies. And you can just lie and manipulate your way out of it. No. What's going on with my children is a bunch of lazy women that did a whole bunch of shit to get what they wanted in their mind and then tried to use it so nobody would see what they did. This happens a lot. We all know what it is. It is a form of personality disorder, and that's why both of them can exhibit a lot of the same qualities because they can be either at the same level with personality disorder or at different levels and still have the same thing. And it does get confused with bipolar. It does get confused with a lot of other things because those are also on the spectrum of it. Never knew it was that serious. I was young. I knew other people that had bipolar, and yeah, they had attitudes and stuff like that. And but I never experienced like people that I knew acting like that until it was too late. Even with trying to get them help and them on medication, it still didn't work. Yeah, the one big thing that Tiff would lie to me all about is, well, when I'm around you, I don't need medication because you fix whatever's wrong with me. Now, their love bombing technique. I didn't know that at the time. I went by body language and actions, and what I'm seeing fits what she just said. Until something behind my back came up, and I'm like, "What the fuck? What was that?" I get an eye roll or the face in the hands. It's like, get the hell out of here, man. You're an adult. That shit don't fly no more. What is going on? So what I mean, she walks around. They try. I don't want to say she acting like it's just Tiffany. Jen does the same thing. They walk around trying to act like they live a certain life, but they don't. Anybody that goes against that or upsets them or makes them jealous, they will manipulate or attack. And most of the time, they come to you at trying to smile and act like your friend. Oh, yeah, these girls will wait decades to pull off something against you just because your child had a better bond with you than her, even though they won't pay attention to the shit that made it that way, even though you both can have that. really good bond. I'm just speaking of one thing, not saying that's the whole thing that does it. This is just one trigger that for some reason it's always the male doing something wrong. Obviously not. He's doing something right and you're doing something wrong. And that kid knows it. Also, they have to keep in mind that you both can be doing everything right and that child will still gravitate towards one parent or the other. And sometimes that goes in like waves. They'll do it for a couple days, couple months here, and then it'll go back to mom, and then it'll go back to dad. You know what I mean? It's just what I think it is them taking their time to bond with each parent. They just pick one at first and bond with that one, and then they slowly pick the other one, bond with that one, and then they're back to the other one, bonding with them some more, and then back to the other. That's what I would call it. But a lot of mothers, they're going through a lot of stuff at the time, and they're so upset. I just gave birth to this child, and it doesn't want anything to do with me, because sometimes that is how it turns out. Now with these kids, it wasn't that they didn't want their mother because of a wave, because the whole time that's all they wanted was daddy. Jazzy was with me almost until 2 years, or no, almost a year. No, that's right. Jen left just before her year birthday. Yep, in February. Yeah, it was like the end of February. But yeah, all kinds of shit started. All because they didn't get what they wanted, and they wanted to cover up the fact that they were lazy. Literally it. Kitty shit. Immature stuff. Lying about how a wrapper got on the floor, or lying why the trash ain't taken out, lying why the dishwasher ain't done. That's what they're doing. And they're grown ass women. Basically that outline. Not the same detail as in words and situation that they paint. And by going through life, they find out how to make those lies even better and seem more dramatic or more worse and get people to believe them even better. And what do I hear people teaching their kids? Oh, they have to learn how to lie and manipulate better. That's a joke. Wow. Which proves you got parents out there teaching your kids how to lie and manipulate on an extreme level. Wow. But yep, I'm just a small redneck Irishman, so I ain't nothing. I'm more than most. That's why I've been painted the way I am. I don't give a fuck what the internet and the community thinks. Never ask them. And you motherfuckers sit here and let your cops and your government get away with hurting children and playing around with witchcraft because you all think it's funny. So, who the hell cares what you think?